to get interactive with you right on this very station. You can also catch us via Facebook Live. Those of you that want to contribute via text message, the number is 0960 200 490. All right, so welcome our Facebook Live audience and also our YouTube Live audience. For Facebook Live, you can log on to Facebook, look for the Radio Christian Voice official page, post your comment on the wall. You'll be able to catch us live. If you want better picture and better sound, log on to YouTube. All right, look for Lorenzo Entertainment TV. You'll be able to catch us live on that platform as well. And there's a promotion that is currently running, all right, on the Lorenzo Entertainment TV platform on YouTube. All you need to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, Lorenzo Entertainment, and then you stand yourself a chance to win a pair of trainers, okay, which I'm going to conduct the draw with my team right on the program towards the end of this particular show. So it's very simple. You just need to subscribe. All right, when you log on to YouTube, look for the red subscribe button, click subscribe, and then you stand a chance to win yourself a pair of sneakers. All right, so we'd like to welcome you on board. Without further ado, let me take this moment now to introduce our illustrious panel. On my immediate left, I do have the lady, Her Grace. That is that is Lucy. Welcome her back to the program.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning to our listeners.
Absolutely.
And good morning to everyone in the studio. Hope our listeners, you are staying safe, keeping safe, that is, with what we are going through world over, COVID-19. It's very important that
you stay safe.
We stay safe. We abide to the rules that were given to us by the Ministry of Health.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Is this social distancing?
Is it a meter apart?
We are trying. Yeah, obviously before we came in the studio, we did some correct things. Yes,
we sanitized our hands.
Sanitized our hands.
Everyone in here did sanitize, right?
I did too. I did. Yes, and
I saw Jerry basically rubbing his hands together.
Yes.
And smelling the alcohol to make sure that
it's actually
alcohol based. Yeah.
The program.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think we're already geared, for sport. To be able to discuss sport. Just briefly, I need also to make mention of a Mr. Tembo who during the course of the week, came to my working place and confessed that the program does make him feel good.
Oh, great.
Yeah, in 2014 he was sick, literally bedridden, but because of the program, he kept, listening to the program even in his sick bed.
In his sick bed.
Yes.
Wow.
And the program kept him going, and as a result, he was healed. He says at that time he used also to listen to Coach Ray, and others, Lorenzo and others. So he says, please pass my regards to the panel for a job well done. Even my wife knows it. If I'd come with my wife here, she could have confessed, of the same.
Okay.
So, I said I'm glad of the feedback that I'm getting from you.
And Coach Ray still listens to this program.
Yeah. Sure. So I said I'm glad to get the feedback from you. It tells us that what we are doing is able to filter through, and if people could get healed, then we are happy as well. So it means that's good. Sometimes normally we start with a motivation to try and pick it up. So really, I was impressed because he literally walked into where I was, into the shop, and said, "I want to talk to you."
That's good.
For me, I thought it was a customer, but
but someone came to deliver.
Yeah. And the name is Mr. Tembo. And Mr. Tembo, if you're listening there, I've delivered the message.
Yes, and we are glad to hear that you do listen to our show. This is very encouraging.
Absolutely, we're truly grateful, and keep listening into the show, and we hope you definitely invite as many people as you can to join us, right?
Yes.
In discussion.
Of YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I know that we're going to do a draw. I wish. Can I enter for a draw?
Close family members. Maybe it's too late.
Look, the gyms are closed.
You're ineligible.
We'll be running now, so I need a pair of trainers.
No, for panelists are
not allowed. Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I know I've seen them. Beautiful trainers. Whoever will win them, they'll use them for a very long time.
And tell the listeners and viewers that you're the one that will draw the name.
Yes, I'm doing the draw. So be nice, make nice calls to me, say something nice. You never know.
Then you're a winner.
Be the winner. Absolutely, very true.
Please watch, in short, tune in to our YouTube
And
channel
subscribe.
and subscribe. Very important.
Very true.
Yes.
Jerry, we welcome you back. You were not here last Saturday, were you?
And the other Saturday.
And the other Saturday, right? We welcome you back, brother.
Yes, I missed out, but I tried to listen in.
Yeah.
The usual banter,
Yeah.
noisy at times,
Yeah.
but it's good to be back. Looking forward to today's show. Just wanted to make mention a few people who continue listening to
this program.
show, and when we meet up, they just say, okay, pass my regards. There's Emily
Great.
there.
Okay.
At,
By Pick and Pay, right?
In Woodlands, our favorite listener, Liverpool supporter as well.
Yeah.
Wise lady.
Hope she's listening.
I hope she's listening. There's
Yeah.
Kenneth in Coma as well. He listens to the show. When we meet, he says, I pass my regards, Lorenzo and the rest. My good friend, Muvanga Kashoki, Chelsea supporter. I'm not just talking about Liverpool supporters here,
but generally
Chelsea supporter, and
before
he listens in.
you're sandwiched in between an Arsenal aficionado and the Man
And the
United
Man U.
aficionado.
He hasn't
So,
shifted from
I
Man
hope
U to
you're
Man
safe.
City.
Oh, wow.
He confirmed by himself.
One more person, there's my good friend from way back, old friend called Ralph. He also listens in with great interest. It's like he follows the proceedings. And last Saturday we met when the show was on. Actually, so he was saying, "Aren't you? You haven't gone to the show? What's happening?" I said, "No, today I won't be there." I listen in and I follow the proceedings. I said, "Okay, I'll give a shout out to you next time."
Oh, great! Great.
You didn't also mention. You should also make mention of our friend in Pick and Pay. You know that lady that likes the show.
Actually, that's Emily.
That's Emily.
Oh, that's it. Oh, you said it. Oh.
He just mentioned her.
No, she's one person.
Which we can pay, I should
Woodlands.
say hi.
Woodlands.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because whenever you walk into that shop,
Yeah.
I should be able to greet you.
Very
Say,
courteous
yes.
and very efficient in our work.
Yes.
I like the.
lady,
She says I like the show. You know that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's good that Jerry still remembers that, and I do.
Well, I usually shop there, so I run into her most of the
Most of
time.
the time.
Yeah.
Great. That's good. All right, Julius, welcome back on set. Arsenal aficionado. There's a lot coming out of Arsenal.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, Lorenzo.
We want to get your opinion to that effect.
Thank you so much, Lorenzo, for having me this morning. Lovely good morning to all listeners out there. Lovely good morning to my fellow colleagues in the studio. It's good to be here. Most importantly, Lorenzo, we thank God for giving us this opportunity to be here. It's not by might, not by power, but
Can you speak a bit closer to the mic?
it's not by might, not by power, but it's by the grace of God that we are here. So looking forward to having a fruitful discussion this morning.
Awesome. All right. Chair,
Yeah.
today's motivation.
Yeah, today's motivation. I just want to encourage people out there in the midst of COVID-19. Some people may lose hope that sometimes God may have spoken into their lives, to achieve one or two things, but owing to this disease that has ravaged the entire world, somebody may think that God has forgotten the word that He spoke. We need to remind ourselves that whatever God speaks, it doesn't come back as a void word. It will still act. It will still, be able to do that which God has desired in your life. That's why when you look at, Matthew chapter 24, verse 35, it says, "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never
remain.
My words will still remain. They will never pass away." So let us all be encouraged that regardless of the hurdles that we are facing today, regardless of the plague that has hit us this day, as long as God has spoken something into your life, it shall be accomplished. It shall come to pass, regardless of all these things that are affecting us and afflicting us. So that's the encouragement that I wanted to put across, to other people, because most people will be able to say, "Yeah, but Mulungu had assured me one or two things. Now, because of this disease, it means that everything has been swept away." No, God's word, doesn't come back in void. God's word stand. Heaven and earth may pass, but the word will stand still.
Absolutely.
That's
all right. Okay. Pretty much we're good on the go. All right. Now, there's a circular that was issued from the Football Association of Zambia. And I'll want Lucy to probably bring us up to speed on that one. There's a circular that was issued. I think this should have been issued, is it 2 days ago? Today is the 2nd of April. So that was like 2 days ago. All right. COVID-19 is wreaking havoc worldwide. And
Yes.
from the look of things, there's a notice from the Football House. Lucy.
Yes, so Football House issued a notice on Thursday to say that there will be closing off, meaning due to the current situation world over, that is the COVID-19. This is obviously to taking precautions to ensure that we
Precautionary
stay
measures,
safe,
yeah.
Exactly, and everyone around us. So you can see the effects of this pandemic, what it has done, and to most of our activities. It's very sad, but at the same time, it's very important that we keep safe. Where possible, I've also noticed, I've seen that most of the companies, organizations, be it private, SME, self-employed, people are really cutting down on time of rather working hours, which is has really impacted on the business. But what can you do when those are the safety measures that have been
Put in place.
So yes, Football House has closed, and I know that was it like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, when we were hoping we would have the annual general meeting
on the 28th of March.
Yes, but I know
Saturday.
that there are so many things or so many issues around the AGM that has that's the reason why it's been set aside for a later date. I don't know if there's any later date issued, and so on and so forth. But in a nutshell,
probably indefinitely.
Yes, indefinitely. In the nutshell, this is what is happening at Football House. Not much activities. However, they have given us contact details should there be any urgent needs, meaning should Backpage need any clarification and so on and so forth. We've been given contact numbers to contact or to contact persons who will be available to clarify one or two issues.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome. All right. So that's probably on that note that we'll probably want to start talking. Agahoa Sikalumbi is saying hi to the rest of the members of the panel. We're truly grateful, Mr. Agahoa Sikalumbi, for your greeting. All right, Chair, it's inevitable that Football House has shut its doors on the backdrop of a pandemic that is wreaking havoc worldwide. But numbers have been given for the General Secretary and all on who we need to get in touch with. Before we get on to the letter that FIFA wrote in trying to address the scourge that has ravaged Zambian football. But on the notice of closure of Football House, inevitable, isn't it, Chair?
Yeah, I think like I always say, I think the writing was on the wall, because you all know that there's been a presidential directive to close bars, restaurants, or places where social activities, to curtail in terms of social activities. And we've seen that a number of companies have cut down on staff. Some do work 3 days a week, like you, even at your bank.
I'm working 3 days a week.
Yeah, even at
3 days a week.
Even at ZNBC, where I am normally, people are working in shifts. So it tells you that there's a cut down. Even at my former working place, where I worked at, government printing department, I passed through the other day, only to find that there's a small, labor force. So the whole idea is people are interchanging. These would work this week, the others would work, the other week. So to try and, cut down on this disease that has is upon us, and it's good that so far, as a country, we are managing it more or less, because when you look at the numbers that we are being given on a daily basis, I think it's quite encouraging. Even yesterday, we were talking of one death, talking of 39, being in, and there were some rumors that two will be discharged, today. So, which is a good sign that the government is on top of things. Yeah. So if the government is on top of things, why not we, the people that are under there, be able to help the government for the government to be able to succeed? So, in a nutshell, I think it's encourageable for those companies that have closed or that have maintained a minimal staff. and even for the Zambian FA in particular, which we are talking about, that they'll be operating from home. It's not like things have come to a standstill. No, work is still going on. Yeah, work is still going on behind the scenes, but it's where you have to meet as a people. That's why it's been cut. Even yesterday, there was Infantino, the president of FIFA. He was addressing CONMEBOL.
The South American,
like our own CAF. In South America, it's called the CONMEBOL. He had to address him from Switzerland via, the teleconference, that kind of thing, which is very good. That's a modern way to go now. Yeah, we hope even Backpage at some point we'll go Skype, if the West does come to the West. So that in the confines of our
lockdown.
So that in the confines of our homes we can be able to discuss.
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, great. Now there's a letter that has come from FIFA, written to the minister. All right. Now this letter has a subheading: planned meeting in Zambia. Let me just run through this letter. It's quite brief, 4 or 5 paragraphs, and then we'll probably pick it up with Jerry on what he makes out of this communication. This is a letter that is written by the Chief Member Associations officer, that's Veron Mosengo Omba, all right, at FIFA. Now, it reads, Dear Honorable Minister, I refer to our telephone call last week regarding the electoral process of the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ. FIFA is committed to an electoral process which respects its own statutes, the FAZ statutes and the FAZ electoral code. Based on our discussions, I would like to confirm that I'll travel to Lusaka, Zambia as soon as possible. As you understand, the exact date of my visit depends on the eradication of the coronavirus disease COVID-19 pandemic and the easing of the global travel restrictions. The aim of my visit will be to meet FAZ representatives, representatives of the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Child Development, and the relevant football stakeholders to discuss the football situation in Zambia. I hope that you will be able to join these meetings once confirmed. In this context, and for the sake of the stability in Zambian football, I reconfirm FIFA's position that the current FAZ executive shall remain in office and continue to manage football activities in Zambia until elections are held. I thank you for taking note of the above and look forward to meeting you as soon as possible. Yours faithfully, FIFA Chief Member Associations Officer Veron Mosengo Omba. This was also copied to FAZ as well as the Confederation of African Football, CAF. All right, Jerry, here we are now. We have a FIFA official coming for a series of meetings. This could probably, or let me put it in this perspective. Is this how dire our football has become now? Where we're actually getting to be locked into a series of meetings before elections. I would want you to come in and what you make of this letter from Omba to Honorable Mlenga.
Lorenzo, it's been an open secret that there's been, what can I call it, some friction and maybe some shenanigans to try and put off the elections and so on. So FIFA are aware of this. And I think this isn't the first time they're mentioning this, talking about this. Mr. Omba, is it?
Yes.
The Ro Mosengo Omba is coming as soon as the COVID situation eases off, when it would be safe to travel and so on. And is even copied in the minister because there's been the elections, talk of them not following the right process. Certain people should be on the ballot and all these things. And then, excuse me, there's even a court case which has sort of thrown things into disarray, such that the elections have been halted, injunctions and so on. So it's not a very pleasant situation. Ideally, we would rather have elections which are straightforward. The process was agreed at the extraordinary general meeting that they're going to follow a certain process. They're going to have integrity testing in there. But unfortunately, people don't want to adhere to this. They're rushing to court. And so this is something which FIFA is not really happy about, that matters like this should be dealt internally. If FAS can deal with it, then it's escalated. It goes to FIFA and so on, then to CAS and so on. Now, elections in the provinces have been halted. Even that even affected the elections which were supposed to take place at the end of March. So Mr. Omba will be coming. He's copied in the minutes and he's invited him to the meeting. Hopefully, they're going to sit down and thrash out all the differences so that we can all be singing from the same page of the hymn book, rather than there's this thought, there's this process going on. Let's be united in this, and we should have a clear process of elections, electing new office bearers. Another thing that's been touched on there is the continuance of the first executive
in office.
In office, because people are saying, look, the constitution is clear. Their mandate ends, it's for 4 years actually. 4 years from the time they started to the same date, 4 years from there. So they're saying that the executive is invalid. They shouldn't be in office. They should leave their offices and allow probably the Fire Secretariat to run football. But it's like office bearers are still in office, and FIFA are saying, look, they shall remain in office until the elections take place. Others have a different viewpoint. So that's quite contentious. Of course, there are different camps, and there are those who are saying, look, Andrew Kamanga's executive, their mandate has elapsed. They shouldn't even be talking on behalf of the association. So FIFA there has said, this is what is going to happen. They'll remain in office. Whether that will be followed or people will rush to court to try and get them out of office again, well, that remains to be seen.
Okay. Sorry, co-pilot. I would like to ask the question to Chair here, but whose rules should we follow? Should we follow those who are saying they're not supposed to be in office, or should we adhere to the rules that FIFA, we can all see this later, people are saying let them stay in the office until the elections are done. So what are we supposed to follow? Because it's quite confusing. We are seeing people running to the courts of laws and so on and so forth. Are they going to adhere to what FIFA has stated in this letter?
Yeah, but I think prior to this letter, there have been a number of letters that Mr. Omba has written to the Zambian FA, indicating that you are in control. You need to follow the FIFA statutes, the CAF statutes, as well as the Zambian FA statutes. I think that has been categorical in terms of FIFA stating. But again, we need to remind ourselves that what do you say? Is it karma?
Karma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Karma. Yeah. Karma is in KARMA.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
The coming in of FIFA today, we need to remind ourselves, it's not the first time.
True.
Yeah. I may be wrong with the year, but it could be 2010. FIFA also came in at the height of Rangos.
Okay.
At the height of Rangos.
The Rangos, yeah.
Kalusha Waria was in office, and Andrew Kamanga was trying to get into office. The way those Rangos. You remember there was at one time there was even a meeting that was supposed to be held at Mova. It couldn't be. That was in 2010, 2011, somewhere about. It couldn't be held. They tried to go to Luansha to hold a meeting. It couldn't be done. Then there was another one again that was held in Kabwe, if you remember very well, at Zambezi. Yeah,
two different elections.
Because these things we need to remind ourselves that these things, it's not the
what
first
goes
time.
around comes
around. That's why I said
karma.
Yeah, that's why I said karma.
What
goes around comes round. Yeah. So at the height of those, infighting, FIFA came. I remember attending one meeting at the Kabwe Rock of Authority, where FIFA was in attendance, and a representative, three representatives of FIFA, they were there trying to give direction. So I'm seeing the same thing that is happening now, that FIFA is about, because they've indicated that they'll be able to come. They want to have a meeting, stakeholders meeting, a meeting with Zambian FA, a meeting with also the minister, so that they can be able to try and resolve these things.
But if we don't get our house in order,
but
eventually.
But the bottom line is, we need to be able to resolve these things. We need to be able to resolve these things. My hope and prayer is that upon this meeting, all things will come you know, to a standstill, and we'll be able to come.
What happened to the court cases?
Well, court cases, you can be what happened with the bench warrant? It was disposed of.
I'm interested to know what Omba will say regarding the court cases when he comes.
Yeah, because obviously on the court cases
goes against the statutes of FIFA.
Right? On the court cases,
have been compelled to follow what the court has ordered. They can't just ignore.
Yeah,
they're being summoned and so on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because the state they've said that the law of land takes precedence over another thing.
So they can't just assuming in contempt.
Yeah, but assuming if the meeting that will be held with the FIFA representative who's been writing letters to the Zambian FN government, and everything is resolved, I believe even the court cases will be able to follow, because court cases arise out of the misunderstanding that are there at the moment. So those could fall off, and an amicable solution found, and thereabout the elections can be held, and we could have a working first executive.
Lorenzo, if I can just come in briefly, the point that Chair touched on. Yes. Is it in 2010 when certain members of the first executive resigned? A number of them resigned, such that they couldn't form a quorum when they met. Therefore, they couldn't really make a decision on anything because they were not meeting a quorum. So legal experts at the time told us, look, the first executive has effectively dissolved itself due to the fact that they can't form a quorum. Therefore, they can't make any decisions. Even if they want to co-opt, it's supposed to be ratified and so on. So it's invalid for them to be called an executive. But the executive at the time went to FIFA, and FIFA just ruled and said, look, they're still in office and they can co-opt new members. They were told, no, the constitution says this and this, but FIFA just said, doesn't matter. They can co-opt, and then those new members will take up positions and they'll continue operating. So FIFA just said, regardless of what your constitution is saying, they should be in office and they can bring in new members. It's the same thing happening again now. FIFA is saying they'll be in office until the elections.
So the FIFA stated the Andrew Kamanga executive will have to be in office until the elections are done. But again, sometimes we need also to look at precedents. If you look at in 2000, if my memory serves me right, when Mr. Teddy Mulonga was in office, there was that elapse of the number of days. And what happened? People came crying and said, this executive is not supposed to be in office. So at the time that they went to the elections, correct me if I'm wrong, they had to bring in, was it Mr. Smarter to sit in? Yeah. And the two other gentlemen for them to be able to conduct those elections. Yeah. So that's how it went about. So really, I'm trying to bring this to fish is to be able to say that whatever is happening now, it's not the first time that these things have happened. They've been there before, and like Jerry has indicated, there were elections in that Intercontinental, if you remember very well. There was another election at Zambezi Motel in Kabwe. There was election at
rival executives.
There were two rival executives fighting for position of the Zambian FA. And apparently, it's a two same players that are still there today. Kalusha Wadia and Andrew Kamanga. They are the two players. And the positions have shifted now. Andrew Kamanga is now in charge. Kalusha Wadia is trying to come into office. That time it was Andrew Kamanga on the sidelines, and Kalusha Wadia was in office, in power. So that's now 10 years. Fast forward, 10 years later. The same things are still with us. Same script.
So the more things change, the more they remain the same.
So, Julius, do you think FIFA is a solution to the current situation or wrangles that are going on around in this country with regards to FA?
Well, I wouldn't really say FIFA is a solution. I think the first time I came here, Chair, you remember we talked about this, and I remember Chair saying, I think what's important is maybe they should involve the patron. And
with the Zambian president.
I just agree with you. I said, I think it's high time that the two parties have to humble themselves and be ready to, in as much as we know that they cannot work together because it's a non-starter. That's the truth of the matter. But what's important is for the development of Zambian football, they need to work together and sort out their differences, whatever differences they have. There's some time back we're having this chat, Chair, and one of my friends was telling me, say, you know what, I think it's like the issue at hand here is there are differences between Kalu and Kamanga, it's I think beyond what we see. That's what my friend was telling me. It's beyond what we see. So whatever differences they have, I think what's important for now is that they should put aside their differences and work together. For me, I feel if Kalusha really feels he can bring some change or development to Zambian football, why can't he come on board and bring some suggestions to Kamanga? Are you telling me Kamanga is going to refuse to say what you're saying cannot work out? I don't think so. What's important is he can come on board and suggest what he feels can be done at the association.
So
and
are you saying that Kalusha Bwala is not supposed to vie for the office? He should move on.
Whoa, I don't want to be quoted, but personally, I feel I'm not taking sides, but personally, I feel he's had his time.
Okay.
Yeah, he's had his time. I think let him give chance to other people. Yeah, let him give chance to other people. When you have your time to rule, rule it and do whatever you can do during that tenure in the office. But then, if your time comes to go, you go and do something else. So I think Kalusha had his time. During his tenure, we won the 2012 AFCON, of which we appreciate. But this time around, it's Kamanga's time. So let him give chance to Kamanga.
So should Kamanga run again for the second time?
Personally, I feel yes, he should run because he still has ideas. I think he has a greater plan for Zambian football.
What is the constitution? Is there something like constitution? Because I want.
Oh, you mean the term limit?
Yes.
There's no term limit, unfortunately.
No, but he can still run.
I
want to be corrected, Chair. He can still run.
He can still run. Everybody, both of them can still run.
There's no limit.
There's no limit.
Things stand, Kalu cannot stand.
No, what we're saying is, when you look at the constitution, it doesn't bar anybody. It doesn't have a term limit, to say that somebody cannot run. Now, I take
an unwritten rule that he should not run for. It's not written in the constitution, but just like some gentleman's agreement to say, look, if you're going to be president, at least 2 terms. Don't go further than that. But then,
just before you come in, Chair, I think it's very unfair to Kamanga, especially to the fans out there who are busy attacking Kamanga, all because we have not qualified to the Africa Cup 2 times consecutively, which is very unfair. You cannot judge somebody because of that. Football is just not meant about Africa Cup.
Why do you say so?
Chair, football is not just Africa Cup.
There's a question here.
No, I'm getting there. We've had other successes that have come through during Kamanga's tenure of office. So I think we should appreciate him and applaud him for the work that he's done. He's really brought a lot of change.
And in Kalusha Bwala's tenure, did he bring any success that you can allude to so that our listeners
the 2012 AFCON, that is what most people talk about, especially his fans. They talk about the 2012 AFCON, of which, for me, I appreciate.
Yes.
But what I believe in is that it was just our time to win the AFCON 2012. Whether Kalusha was president or even though we were to have Kamanga as president, we would have still won. Because it was just our time that Zambia was to win the 2012 AFCON.
No, on that one I beg to differ with you, Julius. I think
no, that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's your opinion. But I beg.
He's entitled to his
opinion. Yeah, he's entitled.
Yes.
But we need again to understand that winning an Africa Cup of Nations doesn't come by luck or just there's hard work that must be put in. That was put into 2012. You remember the team first in 2010. We can get to 2010, Angola 2010. Before that, we had gone 14 years, getting ejected in the first round. 2010 in Angola, we went as far as the quarterfinals, and the coach was Evrina. Thereafter, 2012, we went a step further and won the Africa Cup of Nations. Before going in 2011, the team had to travel to India to prepare. People laughed. They say, "Wait, take the
As you continue, Chair, Di Matteo Kawamba actually is correcting the panel. He says there is now a term limit in the new fast constitution.
Now,
You cannot rule beyond 3 terms.
Okay.
But the fact that
so it's 3.
3. But the fact that there was a hiatus in terms of Kalu, then it means he can still bounce.
So he only did 2, so he's remaining with 1 more.
Still,
He can do one more.
One more.
So getting back, we are saying now that there was the team had gone to India, and there was people were saying, India, in India there's only cricket. But the team trained in India, and thereafter we're able to win the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, let's get to the gist of the matter. I think, like you mentioned, you said people need to humble themselves. I think even for me, I go with that, because even the Bible states, 2 Corinthians 7:14, God says, if people who are called by my name humble themselves, right, and seek my face. We can seek the face of the. We humble ourselves.
You are
seek the face. Yeah. I mean,
So what are you
football.
saying? That sounds like a riddle.
No, it's not a riddle.
Which face
No. What I'm saying.
People should know themselves.
Both comes. Both comes. Yeah. What I'm saying is, both comes must humble themselves and come to a conclusion that the winner in all this must be football, not individuals. Because what we are doing as currently, what is happening, obtaining on the ground currently, is like we are putting our individuality ahead of football on both camps. That's sad. That's a sad state of affairs. So now we are calling FIFA to be able to come in to pacify the situation.
And the question on FIFA
is going to FIFA being humble, or it's showing some sort of I'm going to show you my dad is got a bigger whip than your dad.
Or big brother, right?
Yes,
big
brother.
Is that for me or
no? For Julius and Chair.
All right.
So maybe before I come in, Lucy, Chair, just a quick one. Do you feel that if Kalusha was president, was Football Association of Zambia president now, would have qualified to the Africa Cup? Wouldn't have missed opportunities like we missed in the past?
No, those are semantics now. To be able to say whether him would have qualified or don't qualify, I think that's it's neither here nor there, because what is important is we need to heal our football. If our football, you see, the success of football on the pitch attributes itself to success in the boardroom. If there's infighting in the boardroom, it's difficult for the players on the pitch to be able to achieve results. So what is important is for the boardroom to be able to come good, be able to have a good, working executive. As a result, that will translate into results on the pitch.
Okay, gentlemen, let me get to read a few text messages coming off our Facebook and our YouTube channel. All right, off YouTube, I do have John Kafulo says, glued already. Now says, I'm ready to win. Good to see Lucy and the rest of the team. No rigging, Lorenzo. Definitely no rigging. All right, so in case you just tuned in and you're wondering from what perspective is now contributing, today on the program, we're giving away a pair of trainers, all right, to one lucky winner. For you to stand a chance to qualify, log on to YouTube, look for Lorenzo Entertainment TV, subscribe to that YouTube channel, and then you are actually going to be automatically entered. You're going to be entered into the draw to win yourself a pair of black trainers at the end of the second hour. All right, so rush and make those subscriptions count. Henry Chavula says, morning, family. I can see everyone is fine here. I'm enjoying the program. Thank you, Henry Chavula. Then Silvano Mulenga says, hi, gentlemen. And a lady watching you from Dola, 12-year listener, 12 years a listener, missing soccer, Man United and Forest Rangers fan. Love you and stay blessed. Thank you very much. I don't know whether he means he's been listening, whether he means he's been watching 12 years or he's a 12-year-old listener.
He's a 12-year listener. Who's watching has only come in recent times.
Yeah, I'm really not.
He means it's been.
He's been around for 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah. How long has been Backpage existing? So
since 2005.
Yeah, because if you say of a 12-year child, it should be in grade. What grade?
Maybe he means he's been following the show.
But there's grade 9.
We're super kids these days.
Yeah, it could be in grade 9. Grade 8, grade 9.
Yeah, maybe listening for 12 years.
Yes.
Maybe I'll take Chair's thoughts on that one. Benny Muma says, good morning, Lorenzo and panelists, Backpage family. I love you all. OBP says, good morning, everyone. Your greetings are too long sometimes. All right, we sincerely apologize. We took time on that one, Obi. And then Di Matteo Kabamba says, watching you live, direct from David Wheeler House in Kitwe. All right, thank you, Di Matteo, for that one. And then Roy Charlie says, morning, Lorenzo. I don't think that is 1 meter distance per each one of you in there. The team is complete today. So for us listeners, we are enjoying. Thanks, Roy Charles.
So we'll only be having 2 panelists next time. If there are 2, then you can at least observe the 1 meter.
I think we'll be swapping. The other week this group comes in.
And between Julius and Chair. But when we slot in.
But the other day on BBC, they said if you take a broom, you hold it to that broom with your stretched, arm, and the broom must not touch the next person. Then that's a distance that is recommendable.
Oh goodness me, that is quite long, eh? All right,
next week.
All right. All right. So now he's insisting, Lucy.
Yes.
He says, "Beautiful Lucy,
Yes.
pick the right man." In the
I
draw.
will.
That's
All right.
that's
Is it
good
flattering
lobbying,
her
eh?
so that she can pick it? But it's
You
a
know?
draw. She won't even know
She
which
won't
name
even
to
know, right?
pick.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
save
then,
your breath now.
yeah, then
Now,
Shadrach,
don't worry.
Shadrach Sakalika says, "Morning, judges. Lelo, First Lady Abuela, who is causing confusion at first. Is it Kamanga or Carlo? What do they want?" That's Shadrach Sakalika. Thank you. And then you say, "For how long are you going to continue hearing these wrangles? We want Carlo and Kamanga to come together and iron out their differences. We're a Christian nation." Talemanavo. Looking, okay, so that's coming through from Shadrach again. Then Manyovwe Mashilipa Jonathan Chiwela says, "Some of us have already subscribed. So what happens? You're in the draw, Manyovwe.
You
And then you
qualify.
qualify. And then Adrian Chabaila says, looking good, guys.
Thank you.
And
Thank
then,
you.
all right, Manyovwe again says, "COVID-19, people no masks and no keeping one meter distance." All right, and then Chungu Chama says, "I'm loving the
We
show."
should work the show like it's suggested for the leagues in Europe.
No, we're well sanitized, and there's a meter apart indeed.
And the droplets when someone talks. Oh,
But did we say? Did they say when you choke is it not when you cough?
I understand even as far as talking.
As far as talking, even talking, that's being paranoid.
Yeah.
All right, so Mo Kaumba says, "Morning, Dola is on board. Please stay safe, no handshakes." And then Andrew Mazombwe says, "Hi, team, good to see you all. Thank you very much." And then Mutale Friday says, "Watching live from Mufulira." All right, Tom,
Amen,
I hope you're
Amilambo.
okay. All right, and then Devin, is it Divine Favor Kapalu Kanguya says, "Tuned in, watching from home. I can't see." All right, all right. So then, who's this other one? Mivelo Nomai says, "Good morning, Lorenzo. Lucy, welcome back. Jerry and the other
Thank
gents." What's his name again? Julius, catching you from Dola. Godfrey Mambo says, "Watching from Kitwe." Zikachitika Panji Munkondia says, "I'm just happy to see that Samuel Eto'o and Drogba criticized the French doctors who wanted to test the Africans first with their corona vaccines. Let's wake up, Africa." Oh, unrelated.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
stereotype, you know, because
Yeah.
look at, for argument's sake, like in Zambia, we're talking in Zambia now, apart from one death, we've had 39 cases. So in short, we've had 40 cases compared to France, where the doctors are saying, let's test in Africa. Where is it much more, you know, where is a drug much more needed, here or there?
All right.
They
need it there.
But they need guinea pigs.
Yeah, but they're looking for guinea pigs.
But
So,
they need to test too before they take it there.
So if it
No.
doesn't work out in Africa, then they
I
don't
love
take it
that.
to Europe.
No. That's the reason why
They-
Drogba-
they-
that's
they-
why That's the reason why Drogba ate
well,
it. Like,
so
no.
let them
There's
do the
nothing for
tests
Africa.
in France. Then after that, they send us a complete package to say, can't see V7. Now we're using Uncle.
But I saw that on Millennium page, Millennium Radio, say the French doctor has actually apologized.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
It's a
Actually
disgrace
apologized.
to make such a suggestion.
Yeah.
At this particular point in time.
No,
We
we
have
have
to
given
catch a
we're
breather.
a Christian nation.
Yes.
Okay.
We forgive.
We're catching a breather. Those of you catching us via FB Live, join us on the other side.
We'll be back.
And those of you catching us via YouTube on Lorenzo Determined TV channel, please don't go away. We'll be back in a teeny tiny bit right on Backpage. All right. So keep those messages coming.